Hello and welcome to Aline's first digital summit. I'm Stephanie Darvill, one of the co-founders of Aline.
Yes, and my name is Mugenga. I'm also one of the co-founders of Aline. And today we've created this event, which we call the Career Puzzle. So navigating job and gig opportunities. And Stephanie, what are you excited about with today's panel?
It's hard to say because the schedule is packed, but I think I'm most excited to see what people at home listening are learning from it, seeing your questions and seeing what value you get out of the event today.
Yes, so drop your questions in the comment section below.
And what are you most excited about, Innocent?
I would say I'm most excited about the mix, so the diversity and different perspectives we will have from all these experts we've invited. So I'm excited to learn myself. And to kick us off, you will actually give us a keynote. So the stage is yours.
Perfect. Let's do this. So if you are also wondering what is behind me, these are the names of the different panels that we have coming up. So just to get you excited, we have one I'm new here, one called Empowered, one full-time employee or freelancer, and the learning age. But to get us started and put us in the right mindset, I'm going to talk to you about how lifelong learning creates professional opportunities. So everybody here and everybody at home, I'd just like you to take a second, close your eyes, and imagine education. Now, that many people will interpret it in their own way, but I would bet a lot of money that most of you have an idea of some tables, sitting with some chairs, probably an adult at the front of the classroom, and a child sitting there. And that's one of the things. People still associate education with children and something we do when we're younger. But actually, it's a lifelong pursuit. And often what people are imagining when they think of education, it's actually schooling. So that's why I want to try and change your minds, make you think about education as a lifelong journey, and also looking at nowadays in society, we look less at conventional education. So that's generally fixed in a classroom, looking at validating the completion of the course. But actually now we see society moving into streamed learning and seeing people looking at the validation of the knowledge you have and the incremental bits that you pick up. So if you take away nothing from this talk today, I'd like you to remember three things. The first thing is 2.5 times happier. The next one is 87% of opportunity. And then $6 trillion. Now I'm going to talk you through those three bits. So the aim of this speech today isn't to explain what lifelong learning is or why you should do it. We see that the desire to learn isn't an issue in society, but it's people looking for the right tools and behaviors and understanding how they can do it and also the impact that this can have. And specifically about the opportunities that you can have when you do participate in lifelong learning. So starting off as the individual, so everybody here, what is very good and nice news to hear is that there's been some studies done and actually participating in lifelong learning boosts your happiness. So there's a happiness index of lifelong learning called HIL from 2014. And they saw that people that participated in regular lifelong learning had 2.6 times improved self-esteem, 2.5 times improved personal development opportunities, 2.5 times less negative emotions, and 2.4 times higher sense of purpose in what they do. So it's not just to boost your professional opportunities, but as an individual also has a lot of benefits. Now, if we look at the opportunity from a company perspective, actually McKinsey has shown that 87% of companies either have a skills gap now or they will within 5 years. So some companies may stress and may worry about those figures, but actually as employees, we need to look at that as our opportunity. That means that 87% of companies are going to be looking for people with skills like critical thinking, analysis, problem solving, empathy. So that is what we can actually contribute into the job market. And it's also, we see the rhetoric shifting. So it's becoming less of an employer's market and more of an employee's market. That empowers us. That's one of the topics of today's panel, but it empowers us to really state what we need. And there's also been a statistic showing us that departments that participate in learning and development actually have 92% more innovation, as well as 66% of millennials have said that it is their company's duty to provide learning opportunities to keep them in the company. And I think if we went to younger generations, that figure would increase. So actually, companies need to be offering the platforms for learning, the platforms for continuous improvement, or they will lose their workforce. And that is what we can use to our advantage when we're looking for either gig or job opportunities. Now, I've spoken to you about the 2.5 times happier, the 87% of the skills gap, which presents an opportunity for us. And the third figure that I spoke about was 6 trillion. So World Economic Forum has shown that just by and upskilling our workforce, it'll add $6 trillion to the global economy. So not only improving your own individual happiness as well as your company's performance, you're actually impacting society in a very positive way. Now, that's the impact that lifelong learning can have, but a lot of people will be asking, okay, how do I start? So the first thing to remember, it's not force-fed learning. Compliance and force-fed learning is gone. What we need to look at is dynamic, self-led, personalized learning in the flow of work and life. And I think a lot of people can feel a bit scared about how they'll fit the time in to be able to learn and work simultaneously. But the good news is that it's proven that doing 20-minute sessions of learning 7 days a week is much more impactful for your memory retention, for your learning, for your creativity, much more impactful than doing one 140-minute session. So it doesn't have to be you dedicate a whole day, just 20 minutes a day of reading, of listening, of learning. And that is also why we have decided our panels are going to be 20 minutes each. So it's the perfect snippet of learning that you can do. So if you take away, as I said, with the 3 figures, the 2.5 times happier, the 87% opportunity, because there's 87% of companies looking for people with skills like yours, and adding $6 trillion to society. There's a quote which is one of my favorites that's used predominantly in fighting sports, martial arts, called win or learn, but now we see it coming into the job market, into life. But I would actually flip the script and say, actually, to learn or lose. If you're not learning, then you will be losing, both from all aspects of life. So what I want to ask you today is, how are you learning today? What bits of learning are you getting from each of our panels? We have an amazing setup of guests coming up, so please let us know what you learned from it and enjoy the rest of the sessions. Thank you very much, and now we're going to start with our first panel called I'm New Here, about creating professional opportunities as an immigrant.